So today we're going to talk about 10 rules in how to build a base. So the first rule, the most important, is to plan first. First of all, plan. The more we get to the first stage, the initial prompt, the more we plan what we want it to be. What system, exactly? Who will use it? What will be the pillars that will be in it? What data will we present? What data do we want to check? What are the functions? The more we analyze in our heads, whether it's ChatGPT or any other model, what we want, the smarter we'll become. You can even do something, build something initial for a moment, play a little bit, and after we understand, we ask the base to give us some prompt to explain what exactly we've come to and what we want, and then do it all over again. Because when we get to a clean and tidy initial prompt, we'll be able to succeed much better, because as soon as we don't know, we make a lot of mistakes, so after that we have a lot of information that we don't need. A lot of unnecessary code files, a lot of unnecessary entities, so it's very important to plan as much as possible before proceeding. Second, this is actually a discussion mode. Discussion mode is actually a mode that allows you to ask the base questions without it taking action. I mean, do you want to consult? You can use discuss mode. Do you want to think about something, how to do it? You can ask this discuss mode. Another thing that can be done is not only in the discuss mode, but also in normal mode and simply tell it. Don't perform it, okay? Don't perform the action, just think with me. And then what we get is the possibility that it can both search the internet and read data, and can do other actions that it can't do in discuss mode. So that's why sometimes it's worth using the usual mode, but just tell it. Don't write anything, don't perform anything, just think with me. And then, this way we can plan together. An LLM that knows our system and can help us with how to build properly. One more thing that we are. It's very important when we use Base44 not to reach a dead end. I mean, don't go the same way we go again and again and again. If we get stuck. Because what happens is that if the AI advances in one direction and we continue with it in the same direction, we actually stick the vector, because it wants to please us, and then it will make unreal solutions, bypass solutions that are not good, and it has also entered the loop many times and cannot get out of it. That's why the recommendation is to do a revert, go back, go to a few prompts before, restore a version and try to replace a model and reset. Because if we continue in the same loop, we will get stuck many times and won't be able to get out of it. Logs and debugging. One of the things that can help us a lot to deal with problems is through logs. We have logs both in the console we showed you and in the backend function we have logs, inside code, function, backend function. We have a log. We can actually pull from there what really happened in the function. What happened? Why did things get stuck? And then I can pass it on to the base and explain it to it. And if I don't have logs, I can tell it, make me a code that generates logs for me, and that's how we can actually understand what's going on. I mean, we tried to send a message on WhatsApp and it got stuck, so the log would show us where it got stuck. It got stuck because there wasn't a valid number, because I am missing knowing when I'm sending it. So loss in the backend function as well as logs on the console and browser actually help us understand what the problems are. We can pull the information from there, and this way we can better understand where did the problems we encountered come from, and if we don't have logs, then you can ask it. Generate logs for me in the console, or generate logs for me in the backend function, and that's how we can better solve our problems, faster. So, 5. What is very important to do? Quality control. Do QA. In fact, we want to constantly check that we've really done the things right and that they're working. So it means to open some users, play, see what can be done, see if the functions work. Don't build full, and only then do the test, because then we won't understand where things broke. To go out to test, to go out to test, to see that things are really working, so that we don't get to a point where we no longer know where we are actually stuck and where things are no longer working. So we finished a session? Exit the base, outside of the preview, open the site, do it as a regular user, as an admin user, see things and see that basically everything is working properly. Clean code, okay? What does this mean? This means that first of all, ask IT not to make very large code files. If you have 600-line code files, 2,000 lines, 5,000 lines, after that it will be very difficult for the LLM, for the AI, to analyze the code, to understand what it is. Tell it, Don't generate big files. You can say this in AI control, where we write fixed fields that are sent with each prompt, and you can also generally notice that if we end up somewhere, then tell it. Okay, if you can write it in a new file, write it in a new file, and you can also occasionally ask it to remove unnecessary code files. If you see that there's something it's not using, you can tell it. If you don't use it, delete it, and make sure that it actually deleted. Then, community. There are many communities. There are communities on Facebook and there are communities on Discord, and there are many communities that you can consult with. Don't be alone, use these communities. These communities can help you solve problems. All users experience the same things, so it's a good opportunity to use the community and thus evolve and learn. 8. Learn the basics. The more you understand how Base works, how a server works, how a database works, how a browser works, all these things, the more you learn and understand how a web application actually works, you will actually be able to reach a higher level, and therefore, I really recommend learning as much as possible and learning the basics. This will improve your ability to build good apps. 9. It's very important to play. Yes, you can only use apps to learn. I have apps that I work on, I just do experiments to test things, to test new possibilities. Have fun, play as much as you can, that's how you'll actually get to higher quality. And most importantly, it's patience, patience and patience. That's the name of the game. As much as Base has developed the ability to build fast and build at a good pace, you still have to understand that building is something that takes time. It's something that requires patience, to be slow, and only after building again and being more and precise, can we reach a good product. So it takes a lot of patience. Good luck, friends.